back to another Kaiju Geekdom figure review. Today we are reviewing the Jakks Pacific Giant size Godzilla. This thing is so cool, from back in 2014. I have one mint condition in the box, never's been opened, can't even move him because he's got all these zip ties. So let's go over the box real quick and then we'll get him out and go over the figure. On the front we have more than 3 feet long. We got Godzilla with a scared looking child. I think he's scared of Godzilla. On the sides, we have Godzilla. On both sides, the same picture. And then to the back, we have Godzilla, over 40 inches long, giant-sized Godzilla. And we have a little read up here. Possibly the last of an ancient species of giant amphibious creatures that evolved at a time when the surface of the Earth was over 10 times more radioactive than it is today. Godzilla can convert his radiation stores into a violent, focused exhalation of atomic ray. Rarely seen, but spoken of in ancient Pacific Island myths, Gojira was last spotted in 1954 when the U.S. Navy encountered an attempt to kill him with an atomic blast in the Pacific Ocean. Since then, the giant creature has been living in the deep ocean until a threat to his survival for an ancient foe forces him to reappear. So that is the read up. You get a little information about Godzilla, the 2014 Godzilla. Jaw opens and closes, fully posable figure, tail swings back and forth. So, when we come back, we will get this giant-sized kaiju out of his giant-sized box and go over the figure itself. It looks cool. Hopefully you guys will stay tuned. Alright, so now we have Godzilla out of his Godzilla cage. And this thing is massive, guys. This thing is so totally awesome. I am hardcore kaiju geeking out right now. You guys don't even understand. I love giant monsters. So, Godzilla being my favorite monster of them all, I had to pick this thing up. And, you know what? I am not disappointed at all. But I can see where some collectors would be. Now, let's go over this figure. Roughly, let me grab my tape measure here. Oh yeah, that clicky sound, right? He stands roughly from the top of his head to the table. He is 21 inches tall. And from the top, he is right on 43 inches. Holy cow, he is huge, guys. Massive. He does come with some posability. Let's go over that. His head does turn. His jaw does open and close. His arms move and they swivel. He does have some leg articulation, which is actually pretty decent on this size figure. And he does have foot swivels, but you're mainly going to probably keep him like this, straight on with his mouth open, because that is Godzilla. Now, you do have to assemble this figure. He comes in 3 pieces: the main body, the tail section here, this section, and it's actually quite easy to snap on. This is what gives Godzilla his weight, though. You can really feel it in his caboose here. Now, I will say this motion is not articulation. I don't think it's supposed to be. It's just how you attach the tail to the figure. But here's his tail swinging action right here, which I don't mind. It does have that unsightly kind of gappage there. I wish they never really did that. But you know what? I don't mind. And his tail swivels here and at the tip of his tail swivels. So that is all the articulation Godzilla has, which is beyond what I could have expected for such a big figure. Oh my god, guys. You can barely see me. Can you see me? So, now, let's look at some detail. His head sculpt is amazing. I love this. This, for me, is the definitive movie-accurate Godzilla. Now, that is my opinion. You guys take it whatever you will, and we'll get into some size comparisons in a little while to go over some more details of this figure, though. But to me, this looks the best from what I've seen in the movie translated into a toy. And by far, his head sculpt has it. Now, he kind of lacks some details, or it's not really details, but it's more of the coloration in his main body, his mid-body here. It's kind of like a little blurry, like they just kind of photoshopped an image to it, But you know what? It does not really hinder that experience for this figure, for me anyways. But I can see where that would become an issue with people. Now, his dorsal plates, seen a lot of reviews of this figure, and you know what? They look great. They look great. I don't think they're too small. I don't think they're too large. I think they're film accurate. He didn't really have really tall spikes off his back. He had these kind of fins. Now, they are rubber, so you don't have to worry about them breaking off. And even down to his tail here, they're soft rubber. So you don't have to worry about breaking these spines off. They do have a lot of leeway to them. And he does have the 3 rows all the way down. Now, I could see the seam line here would be somewhat of an issue for some major collectors. And the unsightly, he has what Kong has, the mighty bullet holes running down his back. But from a far distance, you know what? I can deal with those. I understand why they had to be there. And for just how big this... Look at it. That's huge, guys. That is huge. 43 inches. I'm just so hardcore geeking out, guys. This thing's so awesome. But here's a little close-up of Godzilla, so you guys can just see every kind of detail down to the tip of his tail. So when we come back, we will do some size comparisons with some other kaiju figures that I have in my collection. And let's see how the King of the Monsters stacks up with my other monster figures. So I'll see you in just a sec. Alright, so we have some size comparison here. We'll move this guy back a little. Alright, so we have the 18-inch lanyard Kong figure, which stands roughly about 17.5 to 18 inches. Pretty big figure. He was, at one point, the largest figure in my collection. You can see just the Jakks Giant Godzilla is just towers over this Kong figure at 18 inches. Here's Mr. Stay Puft, Marshmallow Man, sitting at roughly about 12 to 13 inches with the hat on. And he just barely comes up to a little above his kneecaps on the Godzilla. Down here, we have the NECA 12-inch long head-to-tail figure from the same movie, Godzilla 2014, and this thing just barely reaches his kneecap on Godzilla. And then down here, this little thing in my hand, I'm going to actually zoom in on this. I'm going to bring it up. This is a 2-centimeter army guy, which I have a couple hundred of these things, which is really cool because I believe that when I set this down, that is in scale with the Jakks Pacific Giant Godzilla. This thing is so tiny. Let's see if I can move his foot back enough where you guys can see that back here. And I'm going to put him right next to him. That is how small a person is to Godzilla in real life. I really believe that scale works. If you guys think so, be sure to comment and like this video because I found something in scale with this massive figure. Now, these guys do work in scale, I believe, with the Kong. Also, they might be just a little tad off, as Kong is only 100 foot. This guy is 355 feet. So, technically, Kong should be right now roughly here. Godzilla, about the size of Miss Stay Puft, Marshmallow Man. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this awesome figure review of the Jakks Pacific Giant-sized Godzilla. This thing is amazing. If you don't have one yet, be sure to get one because these things are going up in price. And also, I'm going to talk a little bit more about the voice thing. He does have a voice pack that looked like there was supposed to be one. They never put one in. And you guys can't see my face. We'll move Godzilla out of the way. But it's nothing that no engineering or MacGyver work can fix, which I actually had a voice module sent in that specifically fits these guys. So that's going to be cool. I will have a working button action Jakks Pacific Giant-sized Godzilla with his Godzilla Roar from the 2014 movie, which is pretty cool. And I will be sure to show you guys that in the future when the module is installed into this behemoth of a figure. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment to keep an eye out for more kaijus. Adios, guys.